special. No flash, no ignite. No, he just uses it all. Tall Turtle, Peacemaker, first blood on the long range.
Against EG, I'm not going to feed him.
Bums though, he's really in a tight spot.
He's going to go down very quickly. EG picking up first blood.
They're going to continue.
He's outside the Vinny. There's Nick Wu. It's one after the other. They have the ultimate back, and he gets the double kill, the Mega Inferno Bomb. Going on the shifter, the Ignite's there, the heal comes out, it's going to be enough. Zion Spartan's trying to make it home, and Curse comes up with a win in the rematch versus Kobe.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Week 7, Day 2 of the North American League Championship Series Spring Split. We're broadcasting to you from our studio here in the Golden State of California. And judging by the fired up crowd, it's time for some League of Legends. Hey everyone, I'm David Freak Turley, and joining me is the man the Academy Awards continue to snub, Joshua Jat-Leisman.
Why do you got to bring that up, man? Just because I haven't won an Academy Award yet.
Yeah, me either. It's unfortunate, all of us here. We're waiting for that first one. But guys, to get you amped up for our day today, let's check out some of Week 7's already epic moments. Melton Samuel tweets Shifters Spears at Dragon, 2 kills and a Dragon Steal. From Coast vs. EG, here's number 3. But EG thinks they have control over the Dragon. Down to half. Oh, Preshow!
Spear's still available, though. Blue buff on
There's no smite. There's no smite. It's picked up with the Javelin anyway. Nintendo, oh man, doesn't even need to be part of the team. Zion Spartan picks up the kill. Javelin lands on the yellow Pete. Zion shows up for Inox.
Damn, that was a nice steal by the Nidalee Spear. I feel like it did more damage from the smite, so Snoopy can't really be blamed.
Probably not.
But it was still rather rude. Also, we got more big plays. At iPerfectionistI says, the Sheeny synergy is insane. 2v5 dive in the Baron Pit was madness. Sheep's debut is totally impressive. So from that XTG vs Cloud9 game, this is your number 2. He needs to get in range.
Sheep and Benny gonna do what they can. They put up their dukes and they dive into the fight. Sheep's gonna be 1, but they get a kill actually. High goes down instantly. The man drop's coming in. Xfinithy's in range. Lemon Nation goes down. Balls will surely fall in the fight, and it's gonna be a turnaround from XTG.
I can't believe they won that fight. A 3-for-1 trade.
Yeah,
like,
it looked like a
underhanded.
2v5, but the whole team was there. Zuna was behind him. Pantheon was everywhere.
It's pretty incredible, guys. So, of course, the next one is Spit GF says that one-man dive on 5 by Link. Killing Voyboy was legendary. Incredibly manly, and it won him the game. From CLG vs Curse, here is your number 1.
Right now, with the amount of timers, that would be close.
They're trying to pop Banshee's Veil, so Link can go in.
Well, that's going to be a distortion, and Voyboy goes down instantly. Everything that Link had went onto him. Dominate is going to go down in this fight. CLG's in their base, but they're going to have a long time to run coast to coast after this demolish. It's going to be Cop going down as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, and almost a 5th as Boss is just too tanky.
And what a well-played fight that was.
Damn, that was a lot of damage.
Yep.
All at once.
Yep, Link broke the
on
chain
the only
there.
target that could have happened.
Yep.
He didn't even land the chain, actually. He didn't even cast it.
Nope. Made it happen, though. Made it happen. Of course, you guys can share your favorite moments from today's games by hitting us up on @LWEsports and use the hashtag LCSBigPlays. And while you're tweeting, send us your answer to our Twitter question of the day.
Yeah, today we're asking which NA LCS team is poised to have the next hot streak and why. Send your answers to @LOLesports and use the hashtag LCS. Then you get to stay tuned to see if your tweet makes it onto our broadcast.
Now for a look at the news, let's send it over to the guys at the caster's desk.
Thank you very much, Freak. I am Ravine Tabizin III along with Sam, Kobe, Hartman, Kensler. How you doing today, Kobe?
Pretty good, man.
You had a sign out there. Somebody brought a sign for you. Just like the old days. And today, the talk of the league is XTG. After numerous personnel changes, they may have found the combination that works. And wouldn't you know it, it's almost exactly like the one they started with.
Yeah, it may be too soon to say that it's instant success and everything's going to be okay now. But we can say that Sheep had a strong performance coming out. His debut, he showed a lot of confidence going up against all these pros right out of the gate.
And with their win over Cloud9, they have dashed the hopes of fans who were hoping to see Cloud9 battle it out with TSM for first place. they're now sitting 2 games back.
Yeah, a lot of people thought that this would be Cloud9's chance to take back first place. But in his first game this year, Reginald achieved his goal. He came back. He was not a liability for his team.
Yep.
He performed really well, actually, and he was just relying on his instincts. He was talking about how he wasn't exactly calculating his moves before he pulled them off, but he still put up some big numbers for his team.
Still managed to work out. Another team turning heads is Counterlogic Gaming, who have climbed to 3rd place and are poised to clinch their longest winning streak today when they face off against XDG.
Yeah, CLG had a hard-fought victory against Curse yesterday in a game that ran over 51 minutes, and at times it looked like it could go either way, but they managed to leap on opportunities and secure their victory. A lot of the fans will be watching today's game to see very closely, can they break that winning streak record and get that 4th game that has eluded them for so long?
The potential is there. You can feel it. Let's take a look at the standings now. Still in 1st place is Team Solo Mid, followed by Cloud9 in 2nd.
Then 2 games behind, in 3rd is CLG. Dignitas managed to hold on to 4th place as they slipped into the red with 7 wins and 8 losses.
And Coast has climbed into 5th place and are followed by a tie for 6th with Evil Geniuses and Team Curse.
And in last place, but on the rise, is XDG.
So looking at today's schedule, we start the day off with a bang. Team Solo Mid versus Cloud9.
Then Evil Geniuses face off against Dignitas, followed by XDG versus CLG.
And after that, we have Curse. We'll try and slow the wave against Coast in our final LCS game of the day. Be sure to stick around immediately following our LCS coverage for more action from the North American Challenger Series as teams vie for a spot in the Summer Promotion Tournament. For the complete Challenger Series bracket, as well as season schedules for the North American and European LCS, click on over to lolesports.com. There you can find in-depth articles, statistics, and analysis from the experts that will make you the intellectual envy of all your friends.
And use that knowledge to vote on who you think is going to win today's games. Just click on the matches, select Week 7, and give a thumbs up to the teams you're predicting to win.
Before you click away, reserve your spot to join our studio audience and get your picture taken with the pros. Click on the tickets link for all the details. For now, we're going to send it over to Freakin' Jat for a closer look at one of the toughest jobs in the league, the shot caller.
Thank you very much, Riv. You know, there's one captain of a ship, there's one general leading an army. For the LCS, there's one shot caller.
I'll take it from here, Freak, actually. So it's the high-pressure position, one that can make the difference between being good and being legendary.
No, I'm going mid, okay? There's a big wave top, too. Yeah, get both of them.
I think the benefits of having a shot caller is when that person says something, everybody listens.
If 5 different guys are thinking 5 different things, then it's going to go wrong.
It's more responsibility because if you make the wrong call and your team loses, it's going to be because of you.
Kill Annie. Okay, good job.
High is our main shot caller. We all listen to him.
The main thing is we just have a better understanding of what we need to be doing during the game at a certain time.
You're just slowly
I'm gonna all kill him.
Usually we have more of a democracy, I guess. It's like if we agree with the call, we'll just do it.
For the most part, if we had to designate a shot caller, it would be Dexter during the early game and then Afro and Link. It used to be everyone, but we needed one decisive voice at the end to be able to make like the big calls for objectives.
Just peel back, just run back.
When I make a call, I'm just really loud, so everybody's like, hey, he sounds confident, he thinks he knows what he's doing, let's follow him.
Saint's the one that will like call like the 5v5 things, like you can split push here, we want 4 people here, like things like that. And then for like early game, I make most of the decisions on like where I want to pressure.
The shot call on our team will be me in the early game, because I'm making all the plays in the early game. But as we transition into mid to late game, Creeper will make a lot of the directional calls later on.
Alright, you take
It just comes down to if someone says something and it sounds smart to everyone, then we do it, and everyone just tries to come up with ideas.
During the game, wherever your leader is, listen to him. He's your leader for a reason.
Yeah, Jack, you should really listen to your leader. He's there for a reason, saying things that are important. Of course, now to share their experience in the shot caller's hot seat, we're joined by Evil Genius's Crepo and Dignitas's Crumbs. Guys, how you doing?
Doing well, doing very well, preparing to shot call against you.
Doing not so well.
Who's got the better shot calling? Who's gonna hit?
I don't have like the. I mean, I try to sound really badass, but whenever Crumbs opens his mouth, it's like action movie hero right there.
Oh, thank you.
And I'm just a Boy Scout trying to like call my way out.
But the content does mean more. Do you say more intelligent things than Crumbs?
I'd like to hope so.
Okay.
I disagree completely, but that's just my opinion.
Let's get into the actual shot calling itself, though. We heard a little bit about Snoopy talking about your shot calls in the late game. How does that necessarily work for your team?
I mean, early game I can't only call so much. I mean, he's ganking. I'm not gonna say Snoopy ganked this lane or press this button. That's up to him. Like that's micromanagement. But then in the late game,
Smite the dragon.
Yes, smite the dragon, preferably. Ooh, Anyways, back to the point, freak. But yeah, late game, we were moving together as a team, you know, like going across the map, and then I have a lot of spare time rather to say like, okay, let's push mid, then rotate bottom. Okay, somebody get that wave going top. Once it's pushing, we can like ready to rotate into that, and that's basically what I try to do, especially when I'm the engaging champion. Like I need my team to be in a place where I like to engage, so that's where I have the possibility shot call a bit more.
And Crumbs, I know you guys had a little bit of a mix-up in mid-season where you took over the shot-calling role and saw a bunch of success, but it's kind of fallen off a little bit. How's the shot-calling road been going for you?
I think right now we're actually just struggling around the Baron area, to be honest, because a lot of games we're getting ahead in lanes, or maybe we're keeping up with CS against like TSM or C9, and games are going great. We're like, damn, we're going to be able to actually compete against these top teams, and then we take out all the outer turrets, and then, okay, let's go around Baron, and then sometimes we actually go inside the pit and then get destroyed. And then yesterday, we took it a little bit further out, but it's still in that area, and we still lost in it. So I think if we just, ignore that side of the map, we're going to be able to do pretty well.
And one thing I've noticed about shot calling is when a team's ahead, everything's great, everyone's happy, everyone's getting along, all the calls are good. But when you're calling from behind, I feel like that's the most difficult thing to do in League of Legends. Crepo, let's start with you. How do you shot call from behind in games?
Well, it's a little different because both your team mentality isn't like as high spirited as it usually is, and at the same time you're losing, so you can't go for all the calls you usually go for. I mean, when you're behind, you basically have to find a way that you surprise your opponent by surprise pushing a lane that they don't expect you to push, or just standing in a brush like Fnatic likes to do. So it's both a different sense of shot calling, just because the strategy you can apply is no longer the same. You don't have that much tools you can work with. You got to do something completely different, and that's a lot harder to do than like when you're ahead, because when you're ahead, you can make these small mistakes and still get away with it. You can rotate a little later, a little earlier, and you can just keep punishing your opponent because they're on the back foot. But if you're behind, it's incredibly hard to do it successfully.
I'd say a big difference with that is that when you're ahead, you can actually simply make plays by overpowering your opponent. You already have a gold lead. You don't need to make anything flashy. You simply move as a unit and can completely outplay the opponent. You already have a strong lead established. But when you're behind, you cannot take on that 5-on-5 numbers fight. You need to basically look for fights that are going to be completely one-sided. So sit in a brush, wait for 3 people, or maybe sneak a Baron, things that are extremely risky. When you're behind, you need more reward, so higher risk, higher reward.
But at least this season with the vision changes being implemented, it's a little easier to come back into a game with like decisive shot calling. You can still surprise. If you look at last season, once the team got a lead, they would just buy 10
Cleared
wards,
everything out,
place it all over, Oracle sweep, and then just either bait you into Baron or just like surprise you wherever you move. So I really like the fact that there's still a way back into these games, but it's still decisively way harder than just closing one out.
Yeah. Not to mention this. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, one little point about that. I actually like the blue orb. If you're really far behind.
The scrying orb.
Yes, I think if you're really far behind, you just get that one, and then, I mean, I'm just thinking we're not going to get baited in the Baron. Blue orbit now, don't you have to walk into it.
We saw 2 of them in the COG game yesterday.
Yeah, they're gaining in popularity. We're so happy here. So I want to move on now to the game you guys are going to be playing. You're second up in the day. What are your thoughts on your matchup here?
Well, we need a win. There's no other way. I mean, looking at our standings, we're not where we want to be, where we should be, or what's expected from us. Our last game against Dignitas went into our favor. The first one, I'd like to hope we threw ourselves.
Okay.
And with this new piece of information about their insecurity around Baron, I hope to take it.
Well, going into that one, of course, we played last week, and it was one of the most one-sided games I think we've seen. I haven't experienced such dominance before. Yeah, so that game, I'm kind of erasing that game from my mind right now. It's still a work in progress. But going into it, we saw how they played yesterday. They saw our plays, and I think if we don't actually give away a kill at level 1, I think we're going to be in a good position to win again.
Yeah. Well, also the match we have coming up right now, Cloud9 versus TSM, always a big story, but Bjergsen's out this time. Let's actually start with you, Crumbs. What are your thoughts on this upcoming match?
So we played against TSM yesterday, and we were expecting Reggie to be a bit weak in lane. I personally thought that maybe Scar could bully him around, and he held his own really well in lane. You know, he died to a gank once, it's an Eve gank. You're kind of expected to die to that. But aside from that, his team play and what he did inside a 5v5 environment was really well. He played the team fight really well, and that was surprising to me, just because watching the video, apparently he hadn't played League in like 5 months. So to come back to that is really good, really surprising. And they play C9 now, and if he plays Zed and LeBlanc and all these champions, that probably means that Highs and Reginald's champion pool mix and match, and it's probably the same. So I think it's just going to come down to mid lane. I don't think they're going to be killing each other, but I'm going to have to give the lead to TSM for this one, to be honest, because C9 looked a bit shaky yesterday.
Grapple, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree with especially the latter part, what he said. Like, C9 didn't look really convincing yesterday. So they were struggling a little bit in like all areas. I mean, in laning phase they made a few mistakes. Then closing the game out they made a few mistakes, and then like some insecurity was like creeping in. And at the same time, TSM, yeah, they didn't look like the TSM with Bjergsen, but what they looked like wasn't bad at all. I mean, as he said, like Reginald was doing really well in mid lane, holding his own. I feel the other laners are so like well experienced in whatever they need to do, and then Reggie can just fit in. I mean, he's been coaching them. He knows how they play. He knows what they play. He knows their main mistakes. So, and he generally is calm enough to carry it out. So, maybe like 60-40 to TSM.
All right, 60-40 TSM. Guys, thank you very much for your time. Good luck in your match today. We've got more games coming up, though. So we've got to take a quick break. When we come back, it's the rivalry between second place Cloud9 and first place TSM. Don't go anywhere.